I live in a small one-bedroom apartment in an older building just outside the city. It's not fancy, but it's quiet. Or at least, it used to be. About a month ago, I started noticing little things that didn't make sense. One night I came home from work and found my fridge door slightly open. Not wide open, just cracked, enough that the light inside was on. I thought maybe I didn't close it properly that morning. Then, a few days later, I found my shampoo bottle in the sink. I'm not the most organized person, but I know I didn't leave it there. I brushed it off. Figured I was tired. Maybe distracted. But then one morning, I woke up and noticed something odd. The picture frame above my bed was tilted. Not like it fell or anything, just crooked. Like someone had touched it. And I live alone. I started paying more attention. I'd leave things in specific spots before leaving for work. A pen on the counter. A pair of socks on the floor. When I got home, the pen would be gone. Or the socks would be neatly folded and placed on the couch. Now I know what you're thinking, maybe someone had a spare key. Maybe someone was messing with me. That thought crossed my mind, too. I asked my landlord if anyone else had access. He shrugged it off, said the locks hadn't been changed in years. I bought a camera that day. Nothing fancy, just one of those cheap motion-activated ones you stick on a shelf. I pointed it at my bed and the wall behind it. That night, I couldn't sleep. Not because I was scared, but because part of me didn't want to see anything. I wanted to be wrong. But around 3 a.m., I woke up to this soft, scratching sound. It was faint. Like nails brushing drywall. I laid there, completely still. And then I heard breathing. Not mine. This was deeper, slower. Like someone was behind the wall, just inches from my head. I didn't move. Didn't even dare to turn on the light. Eventually, it stopped, and I must have fallen back asleep out of pure exhaustion. The next morning, I checked the footage. The camera triggered at exactly 3:14 a.m. For a few seconds, nothing happened, and then the wall behind my bed started to flex. Just barely, but enough to see. Like something was pressing against it from the inside. Then, a hand. A pale, human hand slowly pushed through a crack that hadn't been there before. It didn't reach far. Just enough to be visible. It twitched, hovered, then slowly pulled back in. The wall returned to normal. The crack was gone. I couldn't breathe watching it. I wanted to believe it was fake. A glitch. A prank. But it wasn't. I showed the footage to my friend Daniel. He didn't say a word the whole time. When it ended, he looked at me and just said, "You need to get out of there." I wanted to. I really did. But curiosity got the better of me. I needed to know what was behind that wall. So the next night, I tapped on it. 3 soft knocks. Nothing. I tried again. And then 3 knocks came back. Exactly the same. Evenly spaced. Like someone was mimicking me. That night, I barely slept. Every creak, every gust of wind made me flinch. The next morning, I borrowed a crowbar from maintenance and decided to open the wall up. I waited until midday, when the sun was shining straight into my apartment. I peeled back the drywall slowly, expecting pipes, maybe a dead animal, something I could rationalize. But behind the wall was a narrow, horizontal space. Just big enough for someone to crawl through. It ran the entire length of my apartment. Inside were scraps of food wrappers, a blanket, and something that made my stomach turn. A pile of Polaroid pictures. Of me. Sleeping. In some, my eyes were slightly open. In others, they were completely shut. But I wasn't alone in the photos. There was a shape. A figure crouched in the corner of the room in nearly every image. Sometimes near the closet. Sometimes right beside my bed. I left the apartment within the hour. The landlord tried to act surprised. But when I pressed him, really pressed him, he admitted something strange. About 8 years ago, a woman who lived there went missing. Police suspected she ran off. But before she vanished, she told neighbors that she kept hearing voices behind the walls. They chalked it up to mental illness. But I wonder now. What if she was telling the truth? What if she never left? I've since moved to a new city. A new apartment. But sometimes, in the middle of the night, I wake up at 3:14 a.m. And I swear, I hear breathing.